Okay.
Good morning. I'm Liz Dudley. I'm the president of the SOCES PTA, and we are doing our first live stream coffee chat. I wanted to thank both Sheila and Karen for collaborating with us to bring this important subject and help us, be better parents at home. So thank you so much for that.
Thanks, Liz. Thanks for working with us. So we are very lucky. We have a wonderful mental health support team at the elementary buildings in South Orange Town. So today we have Linda King and Sean Jones, school psychologists from Cottage Lane, along with a couple people we share with, William O'Shafer.
Yep. Good morning, everybody. We're going to be having Stephanie Muller, our school counselor, and Jessica Ingles, who's our school social worker, join us today. We are very fortunate to have Jessica and Stephanie work at both William O'Shafer and Cottage Lane Elementary School. And as you know, their work is invaluable all year long, but the work they've been doing during distance learning has been really essential. And today they're going to share some ideas of how to support mental health at home. So we hope you
Because we all know we need some support with our mental health at home right now,
Yep.
right? For us and our kids. So I know this is a much needed topic, and I'm excited to hear what they have to share. So thank you guys so much. And some people did submit questions ahead of time, but you can also submit your questions in the chat on YouTube, and we will be monitoring them. And at the end, we will be answering them. So feel free to ask us any of your questions of how we can support you at home. And if we can't answer them during today's chat, we will save them, and we are going to come back to this and hopefully do something else, which we'll talk about at the end. Okay. So thank you, everybody. We're going to disappear, and I'm going to bring in Sean Jones, and he's going to get us started. Hi, Sean.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, thanks for joining us. Take it away.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Okay, can I see the mood meter? Because we're going to talk about the mood meter this morning. We can go to the next screen. Perfect. Okay. So I'm going to talk about the mood meter a little bit. Over the last several years, there's been a strong emphasis at William O'Shafer and Cottage Lane to help improve the social emotional well-being of our students. In our work towards this goal, teachers, mental health staff, and administrators have conducted a variety of activities around school, including assemblies, school-wide challenges, push-in social emotional learning lessons in the classrooms, and pull-out groups and individual counseling sessions. One piece of this work involves the use of the ruler system, which was developed by Dr. Mark Brackett at the Yale Center for Emotional Intelligence. So ruler stands for R, recognizing, U, understanding, L, labeling, E, expressing, and R, regulating. In our first year of using the ruler system, we introduced classes and children to the mood meter, which you see on the screen here. To accompany the mood meter, all the students in each class collaborated to create a class charter in which the children developed a list of feelings that described how they wanted to feel in their classroom and around school, and then they operationalized what they would do to ensure that they would help each other feel that way. So the mood meter, it's a useful tool in helping children understand how they're feeling and can help them label their emotions and to begin to understand how to self-regulate when they're having difficulty doing so. So how do we use the mood meter? So there are two axes on the mood meter. The first axis that you see on the left side of the screen is energy level. So starting at the center of that horizontal axis, as we move downward, our energy level decreases. As we move up, our energy level increases. And then starting at the center of the vertical axis, as we move to the left, we're experiencing decreasing levels of pleasantness. As we move to the right, our pleasantness increases, our pleasant emotions increase. So for example, when we feel stressed, we know that our muscles are tight, we have shallow breathing, and our heart rate increases. So those are all high energies. So, and the feeling is very pleasant. So this would put us in the red on the mood meter. When we're feeling relaxed and calm, we have low energy, but we feel pretty good. So we're in the green on the mood meter. So blue, just kind of jumping ahead, blue is low energy and unpleasant feelings, and yellow is high energy and pleasant feelings. So this visual can be a powerful tool to help kids become aware of the physiology of their emotions and then recognize that they are or are not where they want to be. So this can be for certain activities as well. So for example, let's say it's time to get some schoolwork done on the Google Classroom. So if we're feeling like we're in the red or the blue, we might not have the right energy to be feeling good enough to begin our schoolwork. So we want to be in the yellow or in the green. So let's use a strategy to get ourselves there. So what kinds of strategies do you ask? So it depends on the child and which strategies work for them. So I like to say that that children and adults need to develop a strategy, quote unquote, toolbox, because not all strategies work all the time, and not every strategy is feasible to use in every location. So we need a backup plan if the first or second strategy doesn't work. We'll be talking a lot about these strategies over the course of the rest of this talk, but some examples are exercise, art, play a game or free play, talk to someone, listen to music, spend time with a pet, deep breathing. Now, if the child is upset and maybe having a temper tantrum, suggesting that they go play might seem like it's a fun thing to do, to go play a game, and it is. However, we have to remember that we're not rewarding the acting out with play or fun, but we have to think of it as helping the children regulate. So especially younger children or children who are less verbal or have difficulty with language expression. We have to use more physical strategies to help them regulate as opposed to just talk. And so what's really important is to verbalize your child's body cues and body language as you speak to them in a calm voice. So also validate their feelings and help them label their feelings. Like, you seem really frustrated, I can tell. Your muscles look really tense, or your face is red. Or you could say something like, you seem really sad, I can tell by the way that you're slumping and your energy seems really low. Or you seem like you're full of energy today, you're super chatty and you can't stop giggling, something like that. So then we can help kids identify where they are on the mood meter. So where do you think you are on the mood meter is something that we'll typically say with them. This can open up a conversation about how they're feeling, although don't focus too much on the why at this point. So we want to keep focus on regulating the emotion and labeling it. Then we can ask them, where do we want to be on the mood meter? So in most cases, it's yellow or green on the mood meter. And then when maybe they need some help from you, they're able to recognize where they want to be on the mood meter, then we can decide on a strategy to help them get there. So I like to say, help them turn things around. So it's important to emphasize that emotions are neither good or bad. Everyone experiences all kinds of emotions, and those feelings can change from moment to moment and from day to day. So the way that we react to those emotions, that's what can lead to good or bad consequences. And the consequences aren't necessarily for that child, but it can be for others too. So that's my piece on the mood meter. So next, Linda King will talk about meta moments.
Good morning, everybody. So this is what we introduced this year. It's called Taking a Meta Moment, and it's really using a lot of the skills that Mr. Jones has already discussed. It's about regulating your emotions. So historically, we used to teach kids, stop, think, go. And this is really the same idea. This is a life skill. This is a skill for children and adults. And really, as adults, we have to work hard to practice this and model this for our kids. So, but as a parent, you have to forgive yourself sometimes because we're not perfect. And it's hard it's hard to parent. And sometimes, especially under these conditions, which are new to all of us, it's even harder. So, not every interaction or using this skill is going to be perfect. I just want you to forgive yourself for that and move forward and keep practicing this and modeling it for your kids. So the first thing you can see, it's funny, when I taught this to the kids, they call these the toast people because they look like pieces of bread. So that's what I call them, our toast people. So first of all, something happens, okay, that triggers us, all right? It's really important to help kids understand what their triggers are. So we're upset about something. Maybe somebody said something hurtful to us, or maybe we are disappointed about not being able to do something we want to do. There's many things that trigger emotions in us. So the second part is that you sense it. So when we have an emotion, good or bad, there is a chemical change in our body. When we are anxious or nervous or angry, we might get hot, we might sweat, our heart might beat faster, we might get a headache. or actually feel sick. When we're excited and happy, there are triggers in our bodies too. And we can have some of those same things, same whatever chemical changes happen in our body. Only they're usually more positive, like when you exercise, you have endorphins, and that makes us feel happy. So something happens. We can recognize what's happening in our body. We have to help kids recognize that. And then we have to stop. This is the hardest step, is to be able to stop and think and pause and think before you act. So it's human nature, when you are upset or worried or something's happening, you act. And usually that act is verbal or physical, and it's usually not positive. So we have to stop and think and take a moment to think about our best self. What would our best self do? What do we look like with our best self? Okay. So our best self is that we're a good person, and we want to make the right choices, and we want to do the right things, and we want to do no harm. We don't want to hurt anybody. And we also want to do something positive because we do want to get what we want. So that's seeing your best self. And then we have to use our strategies. And Mr. Jones talked about that with the mood meter. For everybody, a strategy is different. If I ask a student, what would you do if you were angry? They'll say, well, I'll take a deep breath. And for some students that might work. And for some students, they may need to take a walk or go shoot some baskets or do something active. Or I always tell kids, if you're having a problem, you need to separate yourself from the problem. So it might mean to take a moment to go draw or breathe or do something positive. So everybody's toolkit would be different. But the tools that we're teaching them is to be able to calm down by taking deep breaths, by visualizing yourself in a good place. I call it your happy place. Your happy place could be with your dog. Your happy place could be on a beach. Your happy place could be with your family in a memory of a vacation. And breathing and visualizing those things helps us to calm down. So we also need positive self-talk. We have to remind ourselves that we're strong, that we're capable, that we're a good person, that we're kind. So that's positive self-talk. And then at this point, the last step is success, where you can reflect on the incident and be able to recognize what happened, what were the triggers, how did you feel, and what did you do? And this is an important part for kids. They have to be able to remember and practice the things that they did to help them in a bad situation, so that when that situation arises, they can stop and think and act in a positive way. So that's really what the meta moment is. Again, I just think it's something you have to practice. I think this is a life skill. It's a skill that adults use every day. We have to use it as professionals. We have to use it as parents. And we have to teach our kids to use it for them to be successful in school and as they get older in life. So I'm going to turn this over to Stephanie Muller, who is going to share the next phase. Thank you.
Mrs. Ramirez, if you can move the slide. Yes, perfect. Thank you. So next we wanted to focus on some ideas to build your toolbox. So Linda and Sean had talked earlier between the mood meter and the meta moments about coming up with some strategies to help you regulate emotions. So during this time, it's crucial for us to take care of our physical, emotional, and social well-being. Yale Center for Emotional Intelligence put together a great list of resources for handling anxiety. A few I'd like to focus on today are creating a schedule. So before this all happened, we all had our schedules. Children had certain schedules, parents had certain schedules. So it's important for us to stick and keep to schedules and make them as consistent as possible. So make a schedule outlining time for breakfast, schoolwork, downtime, fun, dinner, etc. It's also important to find healthy ways to express feelings, such as writing, drawing, art projects, things that children enjoy. It's also important to incorporate your existing coping skills into daily routines, such as cooking, gardening, dancing, singing, when we're feeling low. Focusing on breathing is one of the most important emotion regulation tools. Next, Jessica is going to show you some examples of breathing strategies.
Hi, guys. If we can move to the next slide. Thank you. So we've been talking a lot today about strategies, and breathing exercises is another great strategy to help children regulate their emotions. It's known to help reduce stress, reduce anxiety, promote calm, sharpen focus, and just overall regulation of emotions. So we received a question asking to demonstrate the STAR breathing exercise. So this is the exercise we have on the screen, but I'd also like to show you, if I can get it aligned. So it's a great tool for kids to have. So they're visual, it's something visual, and it's something that they can use with their fingers and kind of follow along the starting here. They're gonna take a deep breath and then hold. Again, take a deep breath and hold. So they go around the entire STAR. It's really something fun for them to have in their toolbox, and just kind of promotes overall reduce of stress. And again, it's not something they can draw the STAR, they can draw it with chalk or with sand, it could be as creative as possible, but it just gives them another creative tool to utilize to promote these strategies. Thank you.
Okay, I think we're just gonna close it up. If anybody has any comments or questions, we don't have any right now, but maybe that's just because they're listening to you guys and taking in all of your ideas. So I think this is going to be saved and people can watch it obviously on our YouTube channel. And I know Communications is going to share it as well, so we can use this as a resource. And if anybody has any follow-up questions or comments, that would be great, because we can do this again and address any other topics that are important to people. If any of you guys have any closing thoughts, or Sheila?
Sure. Yeah, I just wanted to say that we've had a lot of interest from families around social emotional learning and support. And so William O. Schaefer and Cottage Lane will be hosting another chat in June, which will be hosted by our William O. Schaefer school psychologist, Brian Galvin, and Dr. Caitlin McSpiggin. And we will continue the conversation that was started today around social emotional health and support. So if you have any questions, like Karen said, let us know. If we can't address them today, or through email or phone call, we are happy to incorporate that into part of our next coffee chat.
And thank you so much to you guys for presenting and sharing this and being with us this morning. And you did a great job. So thanks.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.